Hey guys, so tonight is that long-awaited recipe a lot of people have been asking about, the Arroz con Gandules. I'm finally making them. And with that, I'm making Abondigas, which are meatballs, Puerto Ricanized. So I made regular meatballs, just ground beef, breadcrumbs, eggs, some milk, salt, and I put flaxseed. You don't have to put flaxseed. I do that for the extra fiber and the omega-3s. Doesn't add any flavor, just extra fiber. So let me get this started. It took me years to finally figure out how to make arroz con gandules. I'm going to put this on about 3. And what I learned is all about the pot. And once you learn how to make it in a pot, and they like a heavy pot, not those thin pots, but a nice heavy pot. This one I had gotten from my mother-in-law. I think she got it from QVC. Once you figure out how to make it in your pot, that pretty much is the way you got to make it, because then you try to do it the same way in another pot, it doesn't work. It took me years. We were eating crunchy rice. So I'm getting the cast iron, the ceramic cast iron skillet, hot. And then I chopped up some onions, and I chopped up some green bell peppers that I have in my freezer. And I diced them real fine because I don't want the kids to pick them out. But I do have another step I have to do. So I don't always do this. I actually do this if I have it, but I do have a pork chop, 1 pork chop left over. So I'm gonna cube that, and that's your base. You get that going there. So let me cube that, and then I'm gonna put some adobo on it. So I cubed up the meat, and I put my peppers and onions in a bowl. Now I'm opening up sorry for getting you dizzy, my adobo, and I'm going to sprinkle some adobo right on there. And yeah, obviously my grandmother made fresh adobo, but when you are being lazy, the dry stuff is good. My cousin, who's really adopted the cooking from my grandmother really well, she also will use powdered adobo if needed. Fresh is always best. And sometimes with the pork, see, I don't always put the pork in if I don't have it, which is fine. If you don't have it, you don't have to cook with it. When you have it, I just wanted to show you the authentic way of making it, although I didn't make fresh adobo. But you cut up some pork. And I had a pork chop. Sometimes it's that pork shoulder. Sometimes my cousin has used Spam. I don't think I'll ever do Spam. I don't know. I just can't. Meat in a can just doesn't float my boat. But she has used Spam, and she's also used ham. I've used ham before too. So I'm going to get that going. Throw it to my pan. There you go. Hear that sizzle. Okay. Then I'm going to also throw in peppers and onions. So let me go wash my hands, and then I'm going to stir that about, put a little bit of salt. That's cooking up a little bit. Smells good. Meatballs are ready. So today I actually made sauce, and I left some in there while I jarred some of the others. So I'm actually going to put the meatballs in there so they can simmer in the sauce. If you had a pot, you do it in the pot. I'm going to use my Ninja because it kind of acts like a pot and it's already dirty. They're kind of hot. Okay, yeah. I'm going to need tongs. So I'm going to throw those in there. And then this is regular marinara sauce. So then what you do for the abondigas is you add sofrito. Basically, to make anything Puerto Rican, you just add sofrito. So my cousin, she would buy the frozen meatballs. She used to always, she caters parties. And she'll make the arroz con gandules, she'll make pernil, she'll make the empanaditas, and she'll make abondigas. She'll buy from Costco the big bag of frozen meatballs. She'll put it in a pot. She'll buy the big jars from Costco of Prego or Ragu. And then she put sofrito. And that's it. And it's really, really good. So I'm going to put the meatballs in here and then I'll add the sofrito. And there is my sofrito. I got to make more. So I put the meatballs in the pot with some sauce. You could put more sauce. We don't need it too saucy because we're not really coating any, rice or pasta with it. Just eating it on the side with the arroz con gandules. So now I'm just going to add sofrito. So there's like 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. That should be enough. I'm just going to mix it up. And of course I'll taste it to see if it needs more. But sofrito is pretty flavorful, packed full of flavor. Okay, so the meatballs are hot, but the sauce was sitting there for a while. So let that heat up. I'm going to cover it, and then I'll check on it in a few minutes. This pot, that meat is done. So then I'm going to pour with the water 1 can of green pigeon peas, which are the gandules. Oh! Take that out. You don't want that in there. I'm also going to add my sofrito, which, let me see. Let me pour that in. There you go. About 1 big cooking spoonful. That's how my cousins wrote the recipe. 1 heaping cooking spoonful of sofrito. Then, a little more adobo. Because you can't have enough garlic. Okay. Now, I know real traditional, like this is my grandmother's recipe, but traditional, they'll use the achote, which gives it that orangey flavor. Some people use the sazon, so it'll give that orangey color to the rice, yellow-orange. I use turmeric. My grandmother doesn't use the sazon, and she doesn't use the achote, but to get it a little more yellow, and also for the health properties of turmeric, which are anti-inflammatory, I'm going to sprinkle some in. So I need my 2 hands. And you don't need a lot because it's a pretty potent spice. But it is full of health benefits. You know what? I think I need a little more. Just a little more. There. Sometimes I add it to my, I make butternut squash soup around this time of the year. And I add it to that too. And then we need 2 hands, but you need tomato paste. So I have this contadina. That's what I had because I ran out and I didn't get it at Costco yet. So I'm going to add 1 big tablespoonful. There you go. 1 heaping tablespoon. There. Let that simmer. It smells so good. You could probably eat it like this. Okay, and then for the rice. So I use Goya rice, which is a medium grain rice. Like my cousin said, mediano. Medium grain rice. I hope I have enough. So I'm going to make, because I like to make a lot to freeze. There's 1 cup. I think I'm going to do 4 cups. 2, 3, 4. Plus I told a neighbor, that's not a full 4. 4. Plus I told a neighbor I was going to bring some over one day. Let that mix up. some people wash their rice. I don't know. Comment to me. Let me know if you wash your rice and why. I know some people, some cultures, they let it sit like they sprout it. I don't know. Okay, so we got that going on. Okay, and then I'm gonna get the water. Let me clean up a little bit too. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the water. Let me lower the flame a little bit. This is where you get that kakara. The crunchy rice at the bottom. But this is where the difficult part was. I got yelled at by my cousin because when it comes to the water, I was following the instructions on how many cups. And she says, you do not follow instructions. You give enough water where you have covered the amount of rice and you got to go 2 knuckles in from the top of the rice. Has to be covered with water. So I need a little more water. And that was it. She said, you do not go by cup. No, this cup for cup, you know, stuff like that. But measure up to 2 knuckles in. There. So now you just bring that to a boil. And then we lower the flame. You bring it to a boil until it evaporates, and then you lower the flame. Oh, God, I can't talk today. And then you cover it. So I'm going to let this boil. And another important thing, rice needs salt. And Puerto Ricans use quite a bit of it. So literally like a good handful. I think I've seen them put more than that, but I'm going to go with that. And that's it. Now we'll let it boil, get the water evaporated, and then we lower the flame and cover it. So look at that. A lot of the water has evaporated. So I'm going to give it a nice, stir. Oh my God, that smells so good. There we go. So, where to put the spoon? Over here. So what I'm going to do is lower the flame, but these big burners that I have in the front, their low is not low enough, so I'm putting it on that smaller burner in the back, my simmer, something like that. That's what they call it. And I'm going to put it on the lowest flame on the simmer. The lowest, trust me. Then, my mother, when I called her saying, I don't understand, it keeps getting crunchy. She said, cover it with aluminum foil and then put the lid on. So that's what I do. Cover it with aluminum foil and then put the lid on. And then it's on its lowest possible flame. And then it sits there about 15 minutes. And that's where it continues fluffing up because it's obviously absorbed a lot of the water. And then it's ready. Meanwhile, my abondigas, they're ready also. And I tasted it. That was enough sofrito. And now I'm going to make a salad. And if I had more time, since we're all hungry and they're all flocking around me, I would make the maduros, but I'm not going to do that right now. So that's enough carbs. That's enough carbs. You know what? There's carbs in there too because of the breadcrumbs. So yeah, let me make that salad. Okay, so let's check on it. Ooh, look at that. Where's my spoon? There you go. Wow. Stir it. I might need my 2 hands to really get the bottom going. I think it needs a little more. But oh my goodness. Oop, did I just spill? Let me try it. Very hot. Yep, it needs a little bit more. Oh my God, so good. So, every time my grandmother, for the holidays, she would make the arroz con gandules. That's a traditional holiday dish. Regular day, she'll just make white rice with the beans on the side. And then I made a salad. So that's going to be about 5 more minutes, and then I'll plate it up. And there it is. Arroz con gandules and abondigas with a salad. I'm going to put ranch on mine. Sean does not have a salad. But that's dinner tonight. Enjoy.